guys, welcome to your new moon in Scorpio yoga class. I feel like it's been so long since our Halloween full moon, but we are in November. The full moon, new moon this month is on the 15th, and it is in Scorpio. So Scorpio, as we may know, is a pretty, it's a water sign. I'm a Pisces, so I kind of vibe with other water signs. It's kind of known for being the fieriest of water signs, but Scorpio is about getting deep. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to focus on the hips, because the hips is where we store our emotions. And Scorpio rules emotions. It rules our sacral chakra, which is our sacred chakra, which again, that's where all of our emotions are stored. Scorpio does rule all of our reproductive organs, our sexual organs, so that's the sacral chakra. So that's what we're going to be focused on today. I just wrote down deep in the feels. We're going to get really deep in the feels. I saw a meme that was like, it's Scorpio season, like I don't want small talk, I want you to tell me like who hurt you. And that's kind of the nature of Scorpio. Like they're, for this new moon and anything that has to do with Scorpio is just getting really deep. So this is not the time for shallow relationships. This is the time for deep emotional connection. This is the time to get in touch with those really deep emotions, because when we don't deal with those deep emotions, whether they're negative, positive, whatever, that's when we start to kind of act out and self-sabotage and, act out in not so healthy ways. But if we feel our emotions and we allow ourselves that deep emotional connection with other people, ourselves, it can be life-changing in a very good way. So I wrote down, it's not easy, but it's worth it. So our mantra for class today is, it is safe for me to feel. It is safe for you to feel all those deep emotions, those deep, dark emotions, happy emotions. It is safe for you to feel. So we're gonna deep in the hips today. You will need blocks for class, so I have my blocks right here. This one's hiding behind me. So just keep these nearby. We're actually gonna start with them, and then just keep them nearby so you can grab them when you need them. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the intro. It's just all about getting deep. It's really simple. We're gonna get started in a Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's reclined bound angle pose. So I just want you to come. So lay back on your mat, make yourself comfortable first, find your space, and then when you're there, you're going to bring your feet bottoms together to touch and open the knees. Now, where your blocks can come in is you can put them underneath your thighs just to prop your knees up a bit, so we're not creating like super tension on the hips or the knees. If you have a hip or knee injury, this will give you some support. If you're just feeling really tight, this can give you some support, but you might not need them. So just keep those blocks nearby. And once you find that comfortable Supta Baddha Konasana, it may be a little uncomfortable. We're getting deep in those hips. You can bring your hands to either side of you. You can have your palms facing down to get grounded, or your palms facing up to take in some energy. And just close your eyes here. And as always, we're going to bring it to our breath. We're not changing anything about it. We're just noticing our breath as it goes in and out through our nose. And as we breathe, we're checking in here. So take inventory of the mind, the body, the soul. And notice what emotions might come up. Maybe, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's been a very emotional week. My little doggy, my little Fozzie Bear, I had to take him to the emergency vet yesterday. He's okay now, but definitely an emotional roller coaster. And just a lot of stress, and I have to notice that. I have to acknowledge that. If you ignore those emotions, they are going to get bigger, deeper, stronger, and it is going to cause you even more pain. It's going to cause you to act out, and we don't want that. So we're going to feel. We're going to give ourselves permission to feel. We're going to remind ourselves that it's safe to feel. And when these emotions come up as you're taking this inventory here, I don't want you to run away from them. I want you to turn around, face them, and say, it is safe for me to feel this. So notice your emotions as you breathe here. Practice non-judgment and tell yourself, it is safe for me to feel. We're going to take a few deep breaths here. I want you to inhale really big in through the nose. Fill out the chest, the tummy. And open mouth, exhale. Make these breaths really deep, guys. Big inhale in through the nose. Fill out the chest, stomach. Hold the top. And open mouth, exhale. One more, make it the deepest yet. Big, big, big inhale in through the nose. Fill out the chest, fill out the stomach. Hold it at the top. And open mouth, exhale. Let your breath return back to normal. And when you're ready, you can gently use your hands to just press those legs shut. And you can extend those legs long on the mat. Just take a nice morning stretch here, like you just woke up this morning, extending the arms overhead, pointing the toes, maybe flexing the toes, just really, reaching, knocking over your water bottle. And go ahead and gently relax. We're going to take a half happy baby here. So I want you to draw your right knee into your chest while leaving the left leg extended. And you're just going to grab a hold of that right leg and pull it in. Now you can use a strap here if you need to. You can grab the back of your thigh, whatever works for you. Now you can stay here with this knee just hugged into the chest. Or if you want a little bit more of a hip opener, you can grab for the bottom of that foot and take a half happy baby here. So we're not wasting any time getting into these hips. We're breathing deep throughout this whole practice, remembering that it's okay to get deep. It's safe to get deep in these emotions. And go ahead and gently release that foot and extend the right leg out. So I'm going to take it to the left side. So again, just drawing that left knee into your chest and just giving it a little squeeze in. Again, you can use a strap or grab the back of your thigh. And now if this is enough for you, you're going to stay right here. Or if you want a little bit more, you're just going to grab for the bottom of that foot. Really just try to open up that hip. Breathing deeply, feeling deeply. Go ahead and gently release, straighten out the legs. We're going to take some twists here. I'm just going to move these blocks so I don't kick them. So again, drawing that right knee up into your chest, holding it there for just a moment, taking an inhale, and exhale, draw it over to the left. So taking a twist, we're getting into the outer hip here, the low back. You can extend your arms into a T position if it feels good, maybe gaze over the opposite shoulder. Again, remembering to breathe deeply, to feel deeply. And go ahead and inhale, come back to center, extend that leg, and switch the legs out. So drawing in the left knee this time, just holding it there for a second, inhaling here, and exhale, take that twist. Ooh. I don't know if you guys heard my spine just cracked. This is my favorite twist to get that release. Again, maybe gazing over the shoulder in the opposite direction. Breathing deep into this twist. This is probably one of my favorite twists. Go ahead, inhale. Come back to center. You can shake your legs out for a moment if you'd like, and then we're going to take a full happy baby. So this can look like a bunch of different ways for different people. So you're just going to draw your knees up towards your chest. Now, if full happy baby is a little hard for you, I just want you to grab the backs of your thighs and just kind of pull your legs down to you. You can also kind of grab the ankles, and it's almost like a bound angle pose. Or if you can, you're going to grab those feet and pull your knees down to the mat, really opening up those hips. I love Happy Baby. This is one of my favorite poses. Really great for the low back, the hips, all that jazz. I work at my desk for most of the day because I work from home and do my online business, and I literally like my low back is hurting. I'll just get on the floor and do this. It's my favorite. And go ahead and gently release, keeping your knees kind of hugged into our chest. We're going to rock and roll the length of our mat. So you're just going to rock up and down, massaging out the spine a bit until you get the momentum. So go ahead and come all the way up. And we're going to gently transition into a tabletop. Your shoulder, elbow, wrist are all in line. Your hips are over your knees. Spine is in neutral for now. We're going to go into some cat-cows. So I want you to inhale, gazing up, chin goes up, arching the back, opening up the chest. And exhale to round, dome out the shoulders, tuck the chin to chest. Inhale to open up. And exhale to round. Now, I want you to do 5 more rounds of this on your own breath, linking your breath to movement. And make it as deep as you can. Make it kind of exaggerated as you can. If there's a certain place where it feels really good, I want you to hold it there. Breathing deeply. I find that deep breaths are probably one of the greatest ways to feel your deep emotions safely. Even when you're crying, just take those really deep breaths. I'm going to finish the round you're on and come back to a neutral spine. Now we're going to take a wide-legged child's pose here. So I want you to open up your knees as wide as the mat. Your toes are touching behind you, and you're going to sink those hips down to your heels, extending the arms overhead and dropping your chest to the mat. Now, this is my favorite variation of child's pose. I pretty much take it every day. But we're just getting, it's a child's pose with an extra little hip stretch there. Now I want you to breathe here. And just focus on sinking deep into this posture so you can kind of press your hands into the mat and really try to push those hips back to your heels. Try to push that chest into the mat. Again, still breathing deeply here. If you can't tell, our theme is let's get deep. And noticing if any emotions are already coming up for you. And reminding yourself that it's safe to feel them. I want you to inhale, gently rise to your tabletop. Now we're going to take a frog pose here. Now frog is like a wide-legged child's pose, but a little bit more intense. So if your hips are already very tight, I just want you to go back to that wide-legged child's pose. If you want a little bit more, maybe you have a little bit more flexible hips, or you're ready to get a little bit more deep, you're going to open your knees again as wide or even wider than your mat. Your feet should be straight out from your knees, so creating like a 90-degree angle. And you're going to sink your hips back so they're in line with your knees. And you can stay up on your hands, you can come to your forearms. And just taking a frog pose here. We're going to hold it for a bit. I'm so sorry, I know it sucks. This is actually one of my favorite postures. I have fairly open hips, so just breathing here. This is a great prep pose for your middle splits, if that's what you're working on. Don't forget to breathe. You're taking deep breaths here. All right, we're going to gently release. So I'm going to bring my toes back in, just kind of come all the way back up. I'm going to take a seat on my legs. So bending at the knees, just taking a little seat just to kind of release that low spine because that is a pretty intense one. On the low back, we're just going to release it a bit. So I want you to bring that right hand down to the mat. Inhale that left arm over, keeping the chest open, and really trying to press this left hip down. Just releasing that frog pose. Inhale through center, and exhale to the other side again. I'm really trying to force his right hip down. And inhale through center one more time, to the right. And inhale through center and back to the left. And go ahead and inhale, come to center. We're going to find, ooh, my shirt came untied. Give me a second. This is how I wear all my shirts, guys. I wear them in crop tops because, I don't know, I just love crop tops. And it really helped me heal my relationship with my tummy. Anywho, you're going to come back to your tabletop. We're going to find our first downward facing dog. So you can go ahead and tuck your toes and inhale those hips up and back. So your downward facing dog. Now find some movement here. Maybe it's pedaling out your feet. Maybe you're rocking your hips from side to side. Maybe shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. Just find your movement. And when you're ready, find stillness. I want you to inhale, gaze to the top of your mat, and then travel into a forward fold, however you want to get there. Hanging out in this forward fold. Maybe swaying from side to side. Maybe grab opposite elbows. And while you're here, make sure you have your blocks nearby because we're going to be using them. I know I left mine back at the back of the mat. So we're going to take some twists here in this fold. So this is where you might need a block. I want you to take that block and place it right underneath your face. You're going to place your right hand on that block. You're going to inhale that left arm up and open. You're going to bend into your right knee and take a twist. Now you might not need the block, but you might need it. So use it. Whatever works for you and your body. Try to gaze up towards that top hand. Take a big inhale. Exhale, release. Switch out the hands. So now my left hand's coming into place on the block. I'm bending into that left knee. I'm inhaling open. Trying to gaze up towards that top hand. Take a big inhale and exhale, release. Now we're going to do one of my new favorite things, which is we're going to take a forward fold but with crossed legs. So you might need to bring your hands to blocks for this one. And we're going to start by bringing our right foot to the center of the mat. And our left foot's going to cross behind the right. So having your hands on blocks is going to give you a little bit of height. You can keep a bend in those knees if you need it. And maybe try to fold a little deeper here. This is really getting into those outer hips, really getting into that sacral chakra. You can, again, if you want a little bit more, or this is kind of uncomfortable, just bend into those knees. Now go ahead and gently release that twist, that bind with your legs. We're going to switch it out. So left leg is coming to the center. My right leg is crossing behind it. You might notice one is tighter than the other. That's okay. Again, you can take a little bend if you need it. And breathing here. This is the low back, the hips, the IT band, all that good stuff. And go ahead and gently release. Maybe shake out your legs a little bit. You can bring your hands to your shins, press into them, inhale for a halfway lift, flat spine. And exhale, fold. Then inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale those hands to your heart center. Take a second here with your eyes closed. Recheck in. Are emotions already coming up for you? Are you trying to run away from them? Or are you going to tell yourself that it's safe to feel? So we're going to do some half sun salutations with chair pose. So I want you to find the chair pose stance that you like the best. I like mine big toes together to touch with a sliver of space in between my heels. Some people like feet hips distance apart. You do what works best for you. I want you to inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, sink into a chair. So just sit in an imaginary chair, making sure you can still see your toes over your knees. Your butt isn't pushed out, you're tucked, you have a nice flat spine. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. We got that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink into that chair, maybe a little lower this time. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. This next one, we're going to add on a bit. So inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, sink down into your chair. Lowest yet. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and plant your hands. I want you to step it back to a high plank. Now you can drop to your knees here if you need to. Just holding this high plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now everyone can drop to your knees and lower gently to your stomach. We're going to get a little low cobra action here just to get into our spine a little bit. Your hands are going to be placed right underneath your shoulders. And I want you to inhale. Just raise the head, the chest, the shoulders. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. Inhale up one more time. And exhale, release. I want you to bring your arms to cross in front of you. So your forearms are crossed. You can bring your forehead to that cross. That's called a crocodile pose. Now what we're going to do here is get into our hips while we're here. It's almost going to be like a prone pigeon, and prone being that we're on our stomachs. So from here, I want you to take this right leg and just start to bring it out and bend at the knee. So you might not be able to go very far. I can go pretty far because again, I have pretty flexible hips. We're just going to hang out here for a second. You might be down here. You might be up here. Just keeping this foot out at a 90-degree angle. It's almost like a half frog. Breathing here. It's a very gentle little hip stretch. All right, go ahead and release that right leg. We'll take it over to the left. So again, just bending that left knee open and to the side. And you might feel, one's a little tighter than the other. That's okay. And breathing here. And go ahead and gently release. Now here, while we're lying on our stomachs, I just want you to kind of rock your hips back and forth. Just shaking them out just a little bit. And you can find stillness. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. And I want you to press up to a downward facing dog. Now you can press up to a tabletop first. You can press through a plank if you like. However you want to get there. We're all going to meet in our downward dog.
Now from this downward facing dog, I want you to inhale your right leg up and back. And we're going to take a hip opener here. So bending at the knee, like you're trying to kick yourself in the butt with your heel. I'm opening up the hip. Now if this is too much for you, I want you to be in a tabletop, and you're just going to do the same thing. Now you can go ahead and inhale back to straight. Exhale, you can draw that knee into your chest and go ahead and plant it for a lunge. Now, this is a more intermediate transition, so you can always start from standing and transition into a lunge. And we're going to inhale up to our high crescent. So your knee is over your ankle, back leg is straight and active, your foot is flexed, heel is over the toes, arms are up. You can also keep your hands at your hips if you need to. Breathe here. Take an inhale, and exhale, open up to a warrior two. So I'm going from that closed hip to that open hip. Again, knee is over the ankle, back leg is straight, foot is planted this time. My hips are open, my arms are extended. I'm going to gaze over my front fingers. And I'm going to inhale, shift forward, exhale. I'm going to find an extended side angle here. Now you can keep your arms straight. You can also, again, use that block here. Or you can bring your forearm to your thigh and take a little lateral side bend here. Trying to keep that chest open. Inhale, use the core to rise. Exhale, flip the front palm and reverse that warrior. Now this front leg likes to straighten. We're going to find that integrity of that lunge and reverse our warrior. Inhale, come back to your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel back down to your lunge. Now from here, again, you can just step into a forward fold or transition through your three-legged dog and release into your downward facing dog. Now again, if you're standing, you're just going to step back to your lunge. If you'd like, from your downward dog, you're going to inhale, left leg up and back, and exhale. Find that hip opener. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knee into the chest. Plant it for your lunge. Finding your stability first. Root to rise is the term. Find your roots and then rise up. Finding your powerful high crescent. Take an inhale here. Exhale, opening up to that warrior two. My hair has a mind of its own today. Again, I went from a closed hip to that open hip. Gaze over those front fingers. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, find whatever variation of extended side angle that you found on the other side. Again, you can use that block here, whatever you need. Inhale, use the core to rise. Exhale, flip the front palm and reverse that warrior. Trying to keep this integrity of this front leg, keeping it bent. Inhale, back up to the warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down into a lunge. Now again, you can step forward or you can step back into your three-legged dog and then release. And go ahead and find that wide-legged child's pose. And relax. Sink deep into it. I'm going to grab some water. Always grab water throughout your practice if you need it. This shirt just does not want to stay tied today. And your child's pose. I want you to breathe. I want you to notice what emotions are coming up. And I want you to remind yourself that it is 100% safe for you to feel. and allow yourself to get deep. Allow yourself to peel back those layers of traumas, of those just deep emotions that, they're hiding in there. And we need to get to the bottom of them. While you're in your child's pose, I want you to take a big inhale in through the nose. And open mouth exhale. Let it go. One more big inhale in through the nose. And open mouth exhale. When you're ready, you're going to gently inhale up. We're going to come to a seat on our knees. We're going to get into some low lunge here. So again, keeping your blocks nearby if you need them. You're going to come to stand on your knees. And from here, we're going to step out the right leg into a lunge. So if you need your blocks here, just come in right here, or you can come to your thigh, or you can inhale all the way up. We're getting into this hip flexor, making sure your hips are square. Breathing here. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands come to the block or to the mat. Straightening the front leg into a half splits. So flexing those toes back towards your face. Getting into this hamstring a little. Now I'm going to inhale back into my lunge. I'm going to bring both of my hands to the inside of that foot. I'm going to scoot this foot a little bit up and a little bit out. And now you can open up that foot to the side. And we're going to be in our lizard pose. So you can use the blocks here, or you can come down to your forearms. And we're really just getting deep, 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 deep in this hip. I kind of like to rock it out. Just get a little movement in there. And you're remembering to breathe. And when you're ready, you can come back to your hands, plant that foot back down. And now we're going to transition to a pigeon pose. So from here, you're just going to take this right foot, and you're going to scooch, 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 scooch it all the way over to the left. And then you're going to drop into your pigeon. So your left leg is still extended behind you. Now you can take a block and place under the hip if your hip is still kind of up. Now I want you to take just a little back bend here before we release and fold over that front leg. Now, again, you can rest on a block or not, whatever works for you. Breathing deeply in this pigeon. Pigeon is probably one of the best, deepest hip releasing poses. Don't forget your breath. And don't forget your mantra. It is safe for me to feel. Go ahead and inhale. Gently come back up. And just press into your hands, tuck the back toes, and then come back to just a table. And then we're going to come back to our knees. So now we got the whole other side. I'm going to make sure my blocks are nearby. I'm going to start standing on my knees. I'm going to step my left foot forward into my lunge. Now again, blocks if you need them, or maybe you don't. Find your expression of your low lunge. Breathe here. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands down to the blocks or to the mat. Finding that half splits. Again, straightening the front leg, flexing those toes back to your face. Breathe into that hamstring. And go ahead and inhale. come back into that lunge. I'm bringing both hands to the inside of the foot. I'm scooching that foot up and open. I'm going to come to my lizard, wherever that is for me. You can see on your hands and your blocks if you need to. Again, I just kind of like to rock back and forth. Just really get into that hip joint. Are you breathing? Are you feeling? Are you getting in deep? I'm going to come back to my hands, and I'm just going to scooch, scooch, scooch that left foot all the way over to the right, and I'm going to drop into my pigeon. Again, use your block as you need it or as you don't need it. Inhale, take this a little back bend here, then exhale. You can fold over that front leg, sleeping pigeon. Get in deep here. Breathe. Notice what's coming up. And remind yourself that it's safe for you to feel in this space. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely cried on my yoga mat yesterday. My little puppy wasn't doing well. I just got on my yoga mat and was gonna flow, and I just started crying, and that's okay. Your yoga mat is a safe place to cry. Go ahead and come back to your palms. You're going to tuck those back toes, press into the hands, just gently come to that tabletop. Maybe shake it out just a little bit. And then we're going to take a seat on our mat. We're going to get some folds in, then we're going to take it to our backs. So we're going to come to a wide-legged forward fold here. So however wide as you can, doesn't matter if it's super wide, if it's not, you're listening to your body. Now from here, I'm going to inhale, my arms up for a straight spine, and I'm going to exhale, I'm going to fold. So I'm pretty sure I've used this before, an analogy of a Barbie. How Barbie just kind of hinges at the hips. That's what I want you to do. So your torso is just hinging forward with a nice straight spine. Now you can use a block here if you need it to try kind of keep that spine straight. Because it doesn't matter how hard you fold if you're folding like this. Like, that's not good for your back, right? We want to benefit all parts of our body, not just be super bendy, flexible, and injure ourselves, right? And you can find as you hold it longer, you might be able to go a little deeper safely. So remembering to breathe wherever you are. And then you can inhale, lengthen, and exhale, sink a little deeper. And inhale, gently come up. You can release the legs into a bound angle, so bringing those feet bottoms together to touch. Our knees are open like a butterfly. Again, inhaling for a straight spine, and exhale, hinging at the hips like Barbie. Keeping a straight spine. Again, you can use that block if you need it. Breathing into this, feeling deeply, physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, it's all about getting deep. And it's hard to get deep if we don't feel safe. And that's why we're having this mantra of, it's safe for me to feel. Because not only do we put up walls with other people, we also put up walls with ourselves, and that's no good. Go ahead and inhale, come back up. Now we're going to take a double pigeon, fire log pose. You might need a block for this guy. So we're going to start with putting our right leg on the bottom. So it's like pigeon pose. You're coming to like a 90-degree angle with the right leg. We're putting our left leg on top, so stacking them
like double pigeon or fire log. Now, if you're finding that your knee is all the way up here, you can just scooch that block on underneath. Again, I have very naturally flexible hips, so yeah. Now we're gonna inhale again for a straight spine, and you're just gonna fold as deep as you can go. You're feeling this one in the left hip, a little bit in the right, and a low back. Go ahead and inhale, gently come up, unwind the legs, and we're gonna switch sides. So this time left leg's coming on the bottom, right leg's coming on top. Again, double pigeon, double fire log. You can use that block if you need it. You might notice again that one is tighter than the other. Totally okay. This one's definitely tighter for me. I'm gonna inhale for a flat spine, and I'm gonna exhale, fold. I'm gonna let myself feel all the things, and I'm gonna remind myself that it's safe. And my dogs are gonna lose it for no reason. This is what happens when you have 3 dogs, guys. It's my little Fozzie Bear. I'm just glad he feels better. And go ahead and inhale. Come on up. We're gonna find our way to our backs. Again, keeping your blocks nearby just in case you need them. And just coming down to your back, all the way down. We're gonna start with a bridge pose. Now I like to take a supported bridge. So again, this is where your blocks are gonna come in. Or you can take your regular bridge pose, or you can take your wheel, whatever is in your practice. I'm gonna take my block. I'm bending at the knees, my feet are on the ground. I'm gonna inhale my hips straight up. I'm gonna scooch that block underneath, and I'm gonna hang out here. Now you can put this block higher if you're a little more bendy, or you can hold a bridge, or you can go to a wheel. Listening to your body, feeling what's right for you, and breathing as always. Now wherever you're at, you can just inhale your hips up just a little bit. Maybe shift that block out from underneath you, and then exhale, release one vertebrae at a time. Now we're gonna go into some windshield wipers here. So just windshield wiping out your legs. And now I want you to just drop them over to the right and hold them there. Now if this is enough for you, you're gonna stay right here. If you want a little more, you're bringing that right heel to your left thigh, right above the knee, not on the knee directly. We're just really getting into this outer hip, this IT band on the left side. This is also one of my favorite stretches. Go ahead and gently release. Windshield wipe out your legs for a second. And then dropping them over to the left. Same thing, holding them there. And you can stay here, or if you want a little more, bringing that left heel right above the right knee. And just letting gravity do its thing. Go ahead and gently release. We're just going to take some final twists here. So bringing your arms out to a T position, drawing those knees into your chest, and then dropping them over to the right.
Now you can gaze over your shoulder in the opposite direction if it feels good. Bringing it back to the focus on your breath. Deep inhales and exhales. Go ahead and inhale, come back to center, and exhale, drop them over to the other side. Go ahead and inhale, come back to center, and exhale, release. We're going to find our Savasana. Now, I'm going to take the Savasana that we started with, which is Supta Baddha Konasana. So again, recline bound angle pose. And again, you might need your blocks for this, guys. So I'm bringing my foot bottoms together to touch. And I'm opening at the hips, and I can use those blocks just to give me a little support. And my dogs are going to bark, so it's fine. Just don't mind them. Now again, you can have your palms facing down to get grounded, palms facing up to take in energy. Closing your eyes here. Reminding yourself that it's safe for you to feel, that it's time to get deep. We'll spend just a few moments in Savasana. I'll let you know when it's time to come back. So just breathe. And gently bring your awareness back into your space and back into your body. You can start to wiggle your toes or wiggle your fingers. You can start to roll out your wrists and roll out your ankles. You can gently release your round ankle pose. And just draw your knees up towards your chest one last time. Giving them a little squeeze. And then dropping over to your right side, using your right arm as a pillow. Just finding a moment in this fetal pose. You can gently press yourself to a seat, keeping your eyes closed. Any seat that you are comfortable in. I want you to bring your hands to either side of you, feeling the mat beneath your fingertips. You can inhale those arms up, taking all that wonderful energy we just created. And exhale, bring them back down, releasing anything that doesn't serve you. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, draw the palms together to touch. And bring them to that heart center. Remember that it's safe to feel. It's safe to get deep. The light in me honors the light in each of you. We bow to our practice. Thank you. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If you enjoyed this, you can check me out on Instagram at Nourish Natasha. I have yoga programs available. I have group coaching, one-on-one coaching, all of that jazz. And yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you for the full moon.